Welcome to Something New. I'm Paul North, your Meet the Ocean host, and if you have been listening to our podcasts, you know that we share the stories and science of the sea. And for so many reasons, we feel it is necessary to build a community of voices that can speak up for the ocean and the realities that it is facing. Thus, our latest venture is called Encounters. A short-form podcast focusing on ocean interactions. No restrictions or qualifiers on content, simply that it involves the ocean in some way. This is a chance for people of any age, race, gender, or nationality to add their voice to our conservation cause. You can find out ways to get involved at meettheocean.org, and together, let's see where these stories take us.
I'm Jamie Coleman, and this is Meet the Ocean Encounters. So I was on the Farne Islands for 2 years, and I was looking at the productivity, working with tourism to a lesser degree, and monitoring the seabirds and migratory birds moving through the Farne Islands. The Farne Islands are an incredible wildlife hotspot off the northeast coast of England. It was an absolute privilege to work there and live there with the Arctic Terns. There's some incredible science going on the Farne Islands with birds. A guy called Chris Redfern is the man who was tasked with putting geolocators and GPS transmitters on these tiny little birds. They weigh less than an iPhone. That's the bird, not the geolocator. Arctic terns are incredible birds. They undergo the longest migration of anything, pretty much. Every single year they migrate from the Arctic post-breeding, and they go all the way south to Antarctica. They then circumnavigate Antarctica for a while before returning back to the Arctic to breed. And once they've got to the Arctic, they start defending their breeding nests, their breeding environment, with such tenacity and aggression that you couldn't really believe that they've just completed 94,000 kilometers during the off-season. The reason that Arctic terns move from pole to pole is to utilize the hours of daylight, meaning that they can feed all day and all night. There's 24 hours of sunlight. We were in the southernmost location in their breeding range on the Farne Islands, and they still were awake, very vocal, for all hours of daylight. That's from 4 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. When you have these birds screeching out your window, you want to kill them. And when you give up on sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning and you go outside and they attack you, they draw blood. They draw blood on polar bears. They are just amazing birds. You can't help but appreciate what they're doing. And some of the birds that I was working with, I'm sure they understood. We had hats for protection, and we filled these hats with bubble wrap for further protection. And so you'd get individuals that would, instead of dive bombing your head, the highest point, which is what they usually do, they'd sit on your shoulder and peck you on the face in order to try and scare you away from their nests. So there's incredible science going on the islands all the time, and this Chris Redfern recently put these geolocators on the birds throughout the entire winter and showed just how spectacular that migration is that they're undergoing. If you haven't visited an Arctic tern colony, you must. These are annoying, they are persistent, but they're incredible. And if you're worried about being dive bombed, take someone taller than you and watch them be attacked.
Meet the ocean.